Hello, everybody. I am back for video 2. If you watched my first video, I was talking about starting a kind of YouTube group, like a chat group, where we can kind of share and support each other for those of us in midlife who have ADHD and are dealing with perimenopause, menopause, and beyond. And so I thought what would be helpful is if I break down maybe each video, I could kind of focus, on a symptom. I had mentioned in the first intro video, I was diagnosed 2.5 years ago, right before I turned 60, and I have every symptom. Yep. So I have ADHD combined type. And the neuropsychologist said I checked every symptom box for hyperactivity, every symptom box for inattentive. That side. So I figured I have plenty. I have plenty of real life experience. I mean, you're either going to laugh or cry. You might as well cry. I mean, you might as well laugh. So I thought what would be helpful, kind of what I live with all the time, is hyperfocus. Wow. And I am much worse since I entered menopause. My symptoms in general with ADHD are much worse since I entered menopause. Oh, Lordy, I guess it's 11 years now. But also it's kind of like what came first, the chicken or egg, because I also am much more aware of symptoms, much more aware of all the symptoms I've always had that I used to not call them ADHD, even though I knew I had ADHD, did not realize the complexity of all the symptoms that I had that I just never attributed to ADHD. So if I'm looking away a little bit, it's I have my laptop there with notes because I will not remember everything. And I love to talk. And I will just get way off subject and I'll be rambling. And that's not helpful to anybody. So I have to look at my bullet points. So I thought today we could talk about hyperfocus versus task paralysis. I'm going to say I suffer from both. And I'm usually kind of positive, but I think suffer is appropriate. Because it does affect my life. And, I can kind of joke about it and everything, but I don't get things done that I need to get done. I mean, that's the truth. Because I'm doing my hobbies. I've got lots of hobbies. One thing, a recent hobby of mine that comes to mind is I started collecting vintage camera lenses in the fall. I'm a hobbyist photographer. I've got lots and lots of equipment and cameras. And I do it for fun, not a business, just fun. Been doing it for, a long time, 15 years, 20 years. And just started collecting vintage lenses. I think it brought back a lot of me growing up in the 70s and 80s. And, the older we get, the more nostalgic we feel. A lot of emotional there. But the hunt is where I get my dopamine. The hunt for a vintage lens, the bargain of it. I can, look for a vintage lens for weeks and weeks. I'm looking for the exact right one. I do hours and hours of research. Then I'm searching eBay or Poshmark, or Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to get the best, price. It's all that dopamine. I'm just getting hit after hit. It is exciting. And I spend a long time doing it. And that's all good. That's all fine. Am I hurting anyone? Probably not. Not getting housework done or chores I should be getting done. So, but I'm pretty high functioning. I work full time. I take care of my 4 rescue animals. One of them's on my lap right now, Primrose. If you watched the first video, you would have met Primmy. She might make another appearance. She loves the limelight. She's a ham. Anyway, I'm a good mom, according to my 25-year-old. So it's not like I neglect, really important things, but honestly, it's obsessive and it's unhealthy and I do it. And I keep doing it. And I just bounce from subject to subject. So I jumped from vintage lenses. I stayed with the vintage lenses, but then I jumped somehow, in my research of getting vintage lenses. And of course, you have to get all the adapters for them, and then you try them out. And, this is like weeks and months process. Then I started doing macro photography. Oh, yeah, I'm going to teach myself that, use my vintage lenses. And I mean, I'm not kidding. I have spent in my living room in front of the fire with the pups surrounding me and the kitty cat wandering in and out. And it was nice times all through the winter, but I would spend, I'm not kidding, 6 hours on a macro photography shoot. I remember the first big shoot I did, 6 hours. I could not believe it went by that quick. It was like, talk about time blindness, like whoop. I went to the bathroom one time, never drank, never ate. So of course now I'm dehydrated. I'm feeling exhausted. It's crazy. But I liked it and kept doing it. So, yeah. Now, I have all this energy to do things like that, like a 6-hour photo shoot. Hours, weeks, researching vintage lenses, getting the best bargain price for them. Yet, I can't clean the kitchen table off of one of the photo shoots. It's on the kitchen table. Took up I'm embarrassed to say this, honestly. We have 3 adults in this house and everyone's eating on the go. I cleaned it up for Easter, but it had been before Easter. I'm not kidding. It had been there probably a month. Bunch of vintage lenses, different. I had been doing some different kind of macro photography, so I had a bunch of equipment on there. I just could not. I mean, to talk about task paralysis, could not do it. Meanwhile, I'm doing a million other things around the house that take a lot longer than cleaning off lenses. I mean, it's just crazy. And I know intellectually it is crazy. And I do know this. It's not like I'm not aware of it. But it's one of those, I'm running out the door. I'll do it when I get home. I'm in the shower. Oh, geez, I really should get that done. But now I'm going to be running late for work, so I don't have time. Oh, it's a Wednesday night. I'm home, but I'm too tired. I don't feel like doing it now. I'll do it tomorrow morning when I get up after my coffee. Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. It's just out of my mind. I forget all about it. And then every time I notice it, and you would think I'd notice it a lot because it is in my kitchen, I don't do it unless I'm under the gun. If I'm under the gun, I can get anything done super fast. So if I feel the pressure, true ADHD. And it really is nonsensical. I'm just going to take a quick sip of my coffee. Excuse me, just had to wet my whistle. It's nonsensical. It doesn't make sense. I mean, I think everybody would agree. Well, that's weird. Like, why wouldn't you just take 10 or 15 minutes and clean off the table, your kitchen table, right in your kitchen? But I don't. I did do it a couple of weeks ago because somebody was coming over and I was rushing around. And guess what? It took me maybe 10 minutes, 12 minutes to get it done right too. Like put back where they belong. Yeah, crazy. Yet it sits here for a month. I have a million stories because this is my life. Another big one. Oh, yeah. So I used to sell on eBay. Oh, you're being a good girl. My Primrose is on my lap and she's just being very sweet. I used to sell on eBay and I was, I'll say it, addicted to shopping and to thrifting and the bargain and oh my God, and the hunt and the research of what's the best selling thing to get. The whole thing I got into and overbought so many clothes. But anyway, I would go and spend, I'm not kidding, 6 hours thrifting. Get the best bargains. You get like a jolt. You see, oh, this sold for this on eBay, and it's only $5.99. Oh my goodness, let me get that. And I would come home, and no matter how exhausted I was, and I'm talking about 6 hours, on a concrete floor, shopping. To many people, that would be hell. To me, it was exciting. I get home with a big bag of clothes, 2 big bags of clothes, be so excited. I would spend the whole night taking off all of the tags. I would do a bunch of different washes according to color. I have a Jiffy professional steamer. I would steam all the dry clean clothes. I mean, I would spend another 6 hours. And if I didn't get it done that night, I would get it done the next day. I never let my clothes go, never. Partly because of the gross factor. I want them clean in my house. But also it's like an obsessive, I'm still in that dopamine kind of, woo, that's so exciting. Look at the buys I got. I mean, I'm not kidding. I would be very excited about it. And this is not uncommon. I followed through, I don't sell anymore, but when I did, I followed a lot of resellers. And this is kind of a common thing. And I've always wondered, wonder if, a lot of them have ADHD. And then they would sit there. So you would think, well, gee, Maureen, if you did all that work, I'm sure that you must have listed them so you could sell them and make money, because that's the whole point of reselling. The key word is selling. Nope. Oh, no. They would sit. And this is another thing that's very common that I see when I am watching videos about reselling. Very common thing is, and they call them death piles, and it's quite common. And they would just sit there. Now, I'm not saying I didn't list anything, but I would list 10% of what I got a lot of times until I was under the gun. And then I was like horrified. I have to, do it under the pressure. And I hated it. So I would be like paralyzed thinking about it. Oh my God, I have to go. Oh, tomorrow's my day off. And, from my real job, I'm a caregiver. And tomorrow's my day off. And now I'm going to have to spend it like listing, 20 items, and I could never get 20 items listed. It's pretty involved listing on eBay, but even if I got 6 or 7 or 8 would be great. And I would be, I had no problem buying all the things, but boy, oh boy, when it came to listing. And then, of course, you make it so big in your head that you really are paralyzed. And people without ADHD just don't see it. And one thing I do want to say, I've never felt lazy in my life, and I feel so saddened when I go on forums, on like Facebook, and I see women and men talking about how they always felt kind of like less than or lazy or that kind of thing. And I will say this, my mom, I think really helped me to, have self-esteem. And, I look back, she's passed away now, but I look back and I'm almost definitely sure she had ADHD. And so maybe on some level she just understood me because we were very much alike. But she never made me feel bad she actually kind of framed my symptoms, which we didn't know back then were ADHD symptoms, as, funny and entertaining and, oh, Mo's so funny and she always has a great story to tell and, she'll do an Irish step dance for you or whatever. She would frame my hyperactivity like positively. Or she would always say, you're so smart. Mo, you read the book 3 weeks ago. Why you just now, I would read a book if it was interesting for my class. I'd read it in a night or two. I mean, no problem. So interesting. I love it. I found myself like in college, same way. But then I wait till the night before it's due and literally bedtime, Sunday night, 9 o'clock. I'm in 6th grade or something, 7th grade. I'm going to write the book report at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night. And that didn't happen once or twice. That was kind of my go-to. And my mom would say, Mo, you're so smart. So she would say remind me to not put things off, but she framed it I never felt like lazy or dumb or something. I felt more like unorganized, and that was an ongoing theme in my life. So I've never felt like, oh, I'm lazy, because I know that I'm very high energy. And you can probably tell how I'm talking, and I'm actually trying to slow it down for the video so you can follow. But anyway, so there is I find this a lot with ADHD. There's a paradox. There is a paradox to, our symptoms. And it's really cool and interesting. And it also sucks. I mean, it's kind of both, It's, it's hard to deal with. And I think the most heartbreaking thing, and I think this is a lot for a lot of different things in life, when people in your life don't understand you, you can look like, well, boy, she doesn't really have her act together. Why would she leave her kitchen table full of vintage lenses and photography equipment for a month? That's weird. Um, you know, you know, why would she buy all that stuff? You know what I mean? Or why wouldn't she list it if she went to all the trouble of spending the whole day buying and then spending another 6 hours cleaning it all? Yeah, if I didn't have ADHD, I probably would be asking that too. So there's definitely, I'm just looking at my notes, making sure I kind of go on and on, making sure I'm not forgetting anything here or going on and on. I talked about that. But yeah, so, I still find this, I wrote down quick food shopping. It's so ridiculous. I'm embarrassed to say this. Food shopping is something, and I just told you I love shopping. I love clothes shopping. Oh, love, 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 love it online. Love it thrifting, although I made myself stop thrifting because, I was buying too much when I used to sell. But anyway, clothes shopping is so much fun, for me. Food shopping, and I like food. Yum, yum. But yeah, I don't like food shopping. And now I have it in my head. It's the biggest thing in the world to do. Oh, I don't want to have to go food shopping. Oh my God, on my day off, I have to go food shopping. Oh, I don't want to go food shopping. It's so ridiculous. Literally, I'm in and out in 45 minutes. It's not a big deal. Every time I do it, I have a fine enough time. It's not a horrible thing. I just do it. But me talking about it, and I mean for days, like, oh, I haven't gone for over a week. I have to go today. Oh, I probably could wait till the weekend. I think we have enough. I could always pick up milk at the convenience store or have my husband go out and get some milk or bread. It becomes this ridiculous thing. And I do that a lot with a lot of boring tasks, I spend so much time thinking about it versus just doing it, which would be like 1/10 of the time. I'm assuming people out there can relate. I know this is kind of a pretty common ADHD trait. Again, as I said in my first video, I kind of always knew I had ADHD, but I had no idea what ADHD was. I was just thinking I had it because I was very talkative and hyperactive and very, high energy kid. And I interrupt people. And so I thought the obvious hyperactivity, I never truly understood all of the symptoms and how it's affected my life until I got diagnosed and I did a deep dive 2.5 years ago. That's when I did the deep dive into really researching ADHD in women especially, and women in 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, what it's like for us. So, hello, Privy. I'm gonna bring you up in a second. Prim wants to say hi again. She's so funny. So, as I said in my first video, I'm hoping that this could be a safe space for us, where, we can help each other and we can commiserate and we can vent and we can, talk about the symptoms and how they affect us and the laughs and the humor. And there are parts of ADHD that are funny. There's parts of ADHD that I love about myself. I love that I'm high energy. I love that I'm creative. And I'm afraid maybe if I didn't have ADHD, I wouldn't be like that. I love that I'm a storyteller. I love telling stories. I always attributed that to being Irish, and that could be it too. But also I think there's some ADHD in that too. So I just want to make sure I covered everything I wanted to cover. I talked about that. Yeah, my lenses. Oh, yeah. So I think it'd be great if anyone out there could talk about, if you're comfortable, putting in the chat, is there something you struggle with or a bunch of stuff you struggle with as far as ADHD goes and as far as hyperfocus goes and task paralysis goes? Because we can all sometimes just putting it out there on paper just makes us feel better, But on the other hand, if you're just here to listen and there is no pressure, please do not feel any pressure at all to type anything. I really, truly want this just to be a place where we can vent, talk, and just kind of support each other. That's, I love YouTube for that. I love YouTube to find out about something and realize, wow, I'm not the only one that feels that way. Or I'm not the only one that made that goofy decision. Or I'm not the only one that has crap sitting on her kitchen table for a month. That took her 12 minutes to put away, yet she put it off for a month. I wouldn't even pan my office right now because, oh my God, my hyperfocus is like all over here. Lots of lenses, photography, arts and crafts, a lot of hobbies. Yes. So anyway, yeah, so I will definitely be making videos. I'm going to try to make one like once or twice a week anyway. Maybe 10 to 15 minute videos. Primrose, whom I'm going to show in another minute. Just a minute, Primmy. One of my rescue dogs. She's a ham. She likes to be with me and be on camera. So yeah, so I'm hoping that we can support each other. If you know of any woman who's like in midlife, thinks she has ADHD, questions it, maybe has been diagnosed with it, and you think that this would be a helpful channel for her, please share and like and subscribe. All right, I am going to show Prim. Primmy. Prim's my toy fox terrier. We are a big rescue family. We rescued Primrose Everdeen. Here. Primmy, look for the camera. Say hi. There you go. There's Primmy. You look very serious, Prim. Okay, jeez. You're so funny. All right, here she is. So yeah, so if anyone would like to say anything in the comments, that would be awesome. If you could relate at all to this video, if this video resonates with you, please comment and let me know. And Prim and I say until next time.